We're living in a world in which clowns are in every walk of life. And they're trying to convince us that they're so genius and so smart. And I'm just having to laugh now in the midterm and in the end laughing because they're just clowns. Now, here are some scientists who are saying that they're going to boost food production by increasing photosynthesis. Now, to be honest, I haven't read the article because I think that's irrelevant. We have enough experience to know that this is just another bunch of crap they're coming up here with. You recall in the past, they've always tried to say that okay, in other words, God predicts that in the end time there's going to be a famine. Um, and so they're trying to say that God is a liar and that there isn't going to be no famine. So they come with a variety of things. Now, many years ago, they felt as if, well, we'd be able to get chicken instead of spending 18 months to get the chicken to grow up. We'll do it in 6 weeks, and we'll be able to feed the world. And also, other animals, they've sped up their sort of maturity. And all that has happened is that we have kids now who are matured in the earliest age. At 8 and 7, they see appear to getting pregnant. And before this drive by these folks to bring on more meat to the market, kids were starting to have their periods maybe at 18, something, 16, 18. Much older than today. And so all they've done, they've set us up to die earlier because it seems as if the complications that come into a woman's life after menopause that tend to threaten her life. Um, the later menopause is that the longer she would live. So that it seems to me that a long time ago, women probably started to see the periods when they were about 75 years old. And over time, it has declined to now where it's at 8. And so by the time they reach in the 30s, they'll see menopause, and then they'll have those heart problems and all the other this and that, and then they die in the 40s. So because it seems as if they're born with a certain number of eggs and a certain amount of menstruations to go with it, so that if it starts late, it's going to be the same amount of time it seems. Say, for example, if at 8 they're going to have menopause at 40, so we say 32 years of um, active or very fertile and so on. So that if they start seeing at 40, maybe they'll have maybe 40 years, and by 80 it's over. So as it comes down earlier, it's going to end earlier, and they're going to die earlier. And thanks to the scientists, of course, because the steroids they give the cows and the sheep and the chicken and so forth is transferred to the humans, and it's causing these young people to mature earlier. And I don't think it's a blessing because these young people can't even take care of themselves. Um, it's a bad thing. They can't even concentrate now on growing up, school and all that because as soon as they get 8, 9 years looking to get a wife and all this kind of stuff. So now they come with this photosynthesis game, and I haven't read the article, so that I'm not sure what they're talking about. But I know it's just another set of evil scientists who think that they're gonna disprove what God has said. Um, you see, even if they were to be successful in having plants through photosynthesis be more productive, etc., there are so many other things that God saw that is going to affect, um, and sort of formalize this concept that it's going to be a famine. We're having droughts, we're having global warming, we're having the land is being sort of prostituted and it's not producing, it's not it doesn't have the nutrients that it should have had because we're not resting it as God had requested. You plant in it 6 years, you rest on the seventh year. They're not doing that. So I don't have confidence in this. I just think they're just wasting time. You know another thing they're talking about? They're gonna go and colonize Mars. And you see they deal with this. And the enemy has done this game. He has affected our education, he's affected the whole culture. And um, he has affected our religion. So that scientists now are not people who believe in God and who have understandings in the Bible. They're just evil. They go on to Halloween, they go on to the Ouija board, they go on to magic, and then they say, I could be a smart scientist because I'm smart. But that kind of smart the devil gives them is not the type that is going to lend towards valid and reliable um, concepts and practices and so forth. So if they were believers in the Word of God, they will see other ways in which we could improve things and how we could avoid problems, because the scientists might have understood that it's not in trying to bring chicken and cow to the market faster going to avoid the famine. And so our children would not have been, interfered with. Their maturity would have still been on track. Maybe 18, 17, they start ready for, you know, ovulation, menstruation and um, general maturity, sexual maturity, and so forth. So that you give them a couple of years of celibacy, and in the 20s now they're ready to get married or whatever and finish the college, etc. and so on. So even before they even start middle school, they seem period and bog down with this babies and this sex and all this stuff, and they would have seen how God meticulously and methodically created this planet. You put in light, you put in water, you put in air, you put in trees, you put in fish, you put in animals, you put in all that stuff, and then you put in humans finally. So we can go and put in humans first on Mars, and then we try to create. I mean, can we create the stuff that God has done? This is what God has done, okay? And if they believe that there's going to be this famine, they won't go to all this crazy promises and affecting our genes and our health and so on. And I tell you, some of these genetic maneuvers they're making, these are similar things that have caused us to be where we are. Because originally, the people were giants, and they started playing around with genetics, and now we're these dwarfs. Um, People lived 900 years. Today they could only make 70, thanks to the ingenuity of those ancient, scientists. So genetic manipulation is not anything new, and humans can't see the end results. And so when they start the experiment, they can't change it because we're just humans. Um, oh man, so uh, don't have confidence in these scientists, man. Just read the Bible, pray to God, drink some water, and go to bed, and you'll be okay. That's my recommendation.